For me on Cuba. We saw the president's statement today about the demonstrations there on the island yesterday. Two questions on that. But why hasn't President Biden taken steps to undo some of the things that his predecessor, Donald Trump, did to overturn the overtures made by President Obama? And then secondly, we heard there's obviously a great cry yesterday, during these protests, for vaccines. Has Cuba on the list to get vaccines for the United States?
Well, first let me say that we have actually provided, over the course of the last several months, a great deal of assistance to Cuba. I just want to note this because I think it's important for people to understand. Since 2009, which is quite some time ago, Congress has directed $20 million in democracy assistance annually. But even if you look at last year alone, the U.S. exported $176 million of goods to Cuba. In the first 6 months of 2021, Cuba imported $123 million worth of chicken from the United States. Just as an example, obviously one of the issues that that protesters are justifiably out there in the streets protesting about is hunger, is lack of access to vaccines, etc. But we are continuing to provide a range of assistance, which we will continue.
Jen, just to follow up on Cuba, can you give us a sense of where the president's policy review on Cuba is right now? Do you anticipate making any changes, as Jonathan asked, and where do you see it going from here?
Well, I will say first, and I meant to say this in response to Jonathan, but there's every indication that yesterday's protests were spontaneous expressions of people who are exhausted with the Cuban government's economic mismanagement and repression. And these are protests inspired by the harsh reality of everyday life in Cuba, not people in another country. I'm saying that because I think there have been a range of accusations out there, as you well know, Jeff.